Hey everyone, Mac and me back at you. My name's TJ. Just want to quickly thank everyone for your support. We're on multiple platforms to include Rumble, MI, Conservative Roundtable, all one word. And to our one specific supporter, viewer, I am wearing my favorite blue flannel shirt, though I have multiple flannel shirts. This just happens to be my favorite one. Okay. And I'm sure this individual knows who he is. On to the topic. There was a guy I used to listen to on the radio off and on my way home from work. Mac, I'm sure you've heard of him. Michael Savage.
No, Dr. Michael Savage, yeah.
Yeah. And I know that was his stage name. He actually had a different name, and I forget it offhand, but I know Michael Savage was kind of his stage name. But he wrote a book, and I'd never read it, but as I was listening to the radio just last week, Mike Gallagher, one of the Salem commentators, and he can be heard in the Detroit metropolitan area, 1400 The Patriot. Okay. Well, Mike Gallagher brought up Michael Savage. And the context in which Savage was brought up was one of the books he had written, Liberalism is a Mental Disorder. And I got to tell you, with the conduct of the Democrats this past week, nothing could be more true than the disorder, the mental disorder of the Democrats, given some of their insane commentary and statements made on CNN and MSNBC. Okay, and what I mean by that is the news came out about the Supreme Court was going to hear Trump's appeal on presidential immunity, and they're in meltdown. They're in complete meltdown. You know, the party that's employed what they call lawfare, okay?
Right.
And you know, they waited till this year to, come after Trump on various topics. And President Trump, his legal team just appealed, to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says, yeah, we'll entertain that, as soon as we can get it on the docket. And the Democrats are in complete meltdown over it because they wanted him tried, convicted, and incarcerated come by the summertime. Thoughts so far, Mac?
Well, I certainly believe it is a mental disorder because of their reaction to everything. And if you see someone who has a meltdown about virtually anything, you think, how stable is this person? I mean, when Barack Obama was elected, did either of us drop to our knees and scream, no? Did we do that?
No, but I do think I cried in bed a little bit. But, and I'm thinking in particular when his reelection, when he ran up against Mitt Romney, and Mitt Romney completely crapped out on that one.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, and with hindsight as my guide, I don't know that it would have made a difference, Mitt Romney or Barack Obama.
You could be true there. Let me get back to the whole CNN thing. Rachel Maddow was in complete meltdown mode.
Well, she is on MSNBC.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm kind of throwing in MSNBC and CNN together because their conduct is virtually identical as far as
they are birds of a feather, no doubt.
Yes, birds of a feather. Rachel Maddow, she's going on and on and on about how Trump's going to plead his case before the Supreme Court, and they're already predicting that the Supreme Court, because of their 6-3 Republican majority, and that's what's being said too. Okay, they're not even saying conservative or whatever. they're calling it the 6-3 Republican majority on the
Well,
court.
they had no problem with the leftist majority. None.
Oh yeah, yeah.
In fact, they want one. They'd like to rearrange the court so that they could have a 40 judge lead, so there could never be questioned anything.
If we had 6 Republicans on the court, we could safely say they wish they had more than 3 Democrats on the court.
Yes.
But back to my point here. Basically, she's saying that most likely the 6 Republicans are going to find in favor, favorably for Trump. Trump could very well win the election. And this is where their insanity reaches an all new high. He's just going to stay in office in perpetuity because if he knows once he's no longer president, the Democrats are going to resume their lawfare against him. But as long as he remains president, the lawfare that they would so badly want to wage against him will be ineffective. So they're saying he's going to make himself president for the rest of his life.
Look, we could go back.
They said as much.
Because I wasn't prepared for this topic because you wanted to surprise me with it. I might have gone back to all their predictions about Trump. He is almost certainly going to start World War III. Did that happen? The economy was going to crash. Did that happen? Nothing they said was going to happen. So why would I think that their predictions would be any better today? Rachel Maddow needs to go and check herself into a mental institution, and they can wrap her up in a straitjacket and put duct tape on her mouth, and that'll be the day I'll be happy.
Well, going to her mental disorder. Okay.
Well, people call her Rachel Mad Cow.
Yeah. And I'm just going to go to another example of their madness. Okay. And I think it involves Maddow. Speaking to the concept of Christian nationalism, she attempts to draw a distinction between being a true Christian and then Christian nationalism. And it's the Christian nationalists that are so dangerous. And you know why they're so dangerous? Because they think the Christian nationalists think that their rights, their freedoms come from God. Not the.
So, in her opinion, government. We should be forced to accept her atheist tenets.
Exactly.
And she calls that any kind of freedom?
What's that?
I said she expects us to accept, as pardon the pun, gospel, her atheist tenets, and we're supposed to question that. We're supposed to accept that without question. That's what her idea of freedom is? Well,
you know what? I would say, yeah, in her mentally disordered mind. Okay. Right.
Let me throw this in. She hates men, but she does everything she can to look like one and act like one.
Well, we come to the point where I'm inclined to reference the Declaration of Independence, and I know the Declaration of Independence is not the Constitution, but the Declaration of Independence is where our country begins. Okay.
And not what in 1619.
Yep. And what does it say? We hold these truths to be self-evident. And then they would say, we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. Creator is capitalized, by the way. Okay. Right. And then it goes on to say that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So heaven forbid we believe what's so stated in the Declaration of Independence.
Here's where I'm bothered by her comment. And it's not, well, first off, she's an ignorant bitch, so I don't really pay any attention to anything much she says. But is she going to call out, I mean, you remember all the Christians going to malls and pizza parlors with their backpack bombs strapped on and blowing up everybody? No, we know who that is, who does that. So who's the real danger in this country?
According to these Democrats who suffer from mental disorder, the Christian nationalists have extreme views of abortion. They have extreme views of the Second Amendment, and as to, and I'm going to come back to Michael Savage's words. You know, he to my knowledge, I don't believe he's quite as popular as he might have been 20 years ago. I don't seem to hear much about him anymore, and perhaps because of his age now.
Because he was dead, actually. But
what's that?
I thought he had passed away. That's just me.
Well, you know, he you know what? He might have been. But you know, just the whole thing is, you know, back to his book. In any event, referencing back to Michael Savage's words, liberalism is a mental disorder. Given their conduct this past week, nothing could be more true. Okay, and as far as I'm concerned, we can leave it at that.
It's obvious to any person who isn't delusional.
With what they were saying last week, all the more reason Trump has got to win, because if he is not president, if he does not win this next presidential election, Lord God Almighty, this whole thing's going to get ugly.
It'll be a fourth term of Barack Obama, our shadow president.
Well, you want to know something? Victor Davis Hanson, and that could lead us to a whole nother segment, given what Victor Davis Hanson was just saying this past week. But this segment's gone long enough, so I guess we'll end it there. Okay, that's a wrap. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.